afternoon dispatch. You're on Times Now, and our top dispatch coming from the national capital, where the split in the Shiv Sena UBT has been made as official as it can get. Today, to check the loyalty of his Lok Sabha MPs, Uddhav Thackeray had summoned all 9 to Delhi. A whip was issued as well, but much to his embarrassment, only 3 of his MPs turned up. 6 others were missing, confirming an imminent switch to the Shiv Sena, the Shinde camp. The Uddhav camp has responded with angry words, calling the absentees traitors and warning of possible disqualification. Listen in.
जो आएंगे वो हमारे, नहीं आएंगे वो बेईमान गद्दार।
सर आपको लगता है कि सारे लोग आएंगे? अरविंद भाऊ
सर बिल्कुल कंपलसरी है सर सबके लिए।
Ladies and gentlemen, who are these men at the center of this political earthquake? Just take a look on the pictures on your screens. These are 6 Shiv Sena UBT MPs who skipped Uddhav Thackeray's Delhi meeting today. As you know, they had been summoned to Delhi. A whip had been issued. The law says and the rule says that if your party issues a whip, you're supposed to show up unless you want to face disqualification procedures. Well, they never showed up. And now these 6 Shiv Sena UBT MPs have become the most wanted in Maharashtra's politics. As per sources, a decision has been taken by Eknath Shinde to remove these rebel MPs from Delhi and take them somewhere outside. Their whereabouts, ladies and gentlemen, right now are not known to anyone except Eknath Shinde and his team. This after desperate attempts were made by the UBT group, specifically Uddhav Thackeray, to reach out to these 6 rebel MPs so that they could attend the parliamentary committee meeting. Essentially, there were attempts to try and ensure that they come back to the Uddhav camp. They ditched. What we are seeing in Delhi now is security has been beefed up at the residences of these 6 rebel MPs, but no one right now knows where they are. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, there's breaking news coming in now, fresh updates on how Operation Tiger was planned and executed. According to sources, these rebel MPs, 6 of them, flew into Delhi using private jets and were stationed in Noida, in Uttar Pradesh, before making their next move. Sources are also saying that all these 6 rebel MPs met Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and submitted a joint letter outlining their position. In this letter, the MPs are said to have cited an alleged ideological rift within the party and raised concerns over a possible merger between the UBT and the Congress. Essentially, they have articulated what people in Maharashtra, at least what the NDA camp in Maharashtra has been saying, that the UBT camp and the NCP Sharad Pawar party, etc., are all going to be merging with the Congress. That is something that is on the cards. That's the buzz there. So they are articulating this buzz on paper to the speaker. Sources are also saying that these rebel MPs are scheduled to meet Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde on June 20th. The letter submitted to the speaker is expected to be made public only after the meeting with Eknath Shinde. Let me go straight across to our colleagues who are tracking the story for us. Amit joining us live, Sabyasachi joining us live. Amit, अभी सबसे बड़ा सवाल तो ये है कि चलिए महाराष्ट्र में प्राइवेट चार्टर्ड प्लेन से ये 6 एमपीज को नोएडा लाया गया क्योंकि उनको दिल्ली में नहीं रखना चाहते थे, लेकिन अब ये एमपीज हैं कहाँ? किसी को यही नहीं पता कि ये एमपीज कहाँ हैं।
देखिए, सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग है कि वो अलग अलग कल जब आए तो इसके बाद सबसे महत्वपूर्ण थी कि 17 तारीख की सुबह 7 बजे एकनाथ शिंदे के साथ राजे निबालकर जो है वो मुलाकात की, उन्होंने एक मुलाकात की। इसके बाद करीब 10:20 पे बाकी सांसदों ने मुलाकात की। लेकिन इसके बाद जब मुलाकात हुई उसमें सब जो आपने पूरा डिटेल बताया है कि उसमें क्या लिखा चिट्ठी में, लेकिन इसके बाद अलग अलग करके निकल गए। जैसे कि नागेश आस्तिकर जो है वो चेन्नई गए, वहां से तिरुपति दर्शन के लिए। भाऊ साहब वागचूरे जो है वो वाराणसी चले गए। संजय देशमुख जो है और संजय यादव वो अयोध्या रवाना हो गए। संजय दीना पाटिल मुंबई और ओमराजे निमंगर पुणे चले गए। तो इस तरीके से अलग अलग तरह के सब लोग अलग अलग चले गए। पहुंचे सब 17 तारीख की सुबह और 17 तारीख की देर, मतलब आप अर्ली मॉर्निंग कह सकते हैं, या 16 तारीख की देर रात सब लोग यहाँ पहुंचे थे। और इस तरीके से 17 तारीख की सुबह और 11 बजे तक सबने अपनी चिट्ठी जो है हस्ताक्षर वाली स्पीकर को दे दी और इसके बाद सब अलग अलग हो गए। और क्योंकि एक अप्रोच हो रहा था, इधर से भी कोशिश की जा रही थी कि हर सांसद को कि वो उसको उनको बात की जाए, उनको मनाया जाए, लेकिन ये तय था कि वो नहीं जाएंगे। और आज जो बैठक हुई, जो संसदीय दल की बैठक बुलाई गई यहाँ पर संसद पार्लियामेंट का जो ऑफिस है शिवसेना यूबीटी का, वहां पर जिस तरीके से 6 नहीं आने का मतलब साफ भी हो गया। कल तक इनको लग रहा था कि आशंकाएं थी, लेकिन आज तस्वीर भी साफ हो गई कि इस बैठक से 6 गायब थे। और जो सूत्र बता रहे हैं, जो टाइम्स नाउ पर जो जानकारी भी दी गई है कि 6 के 6 सांसदों ने स्पीकर से मुलाकात भी कल कर ली और उनको चिट्ठी भी दे दी कि वो उनको अलग कर दिया जाए शिवसेना यूबीटी से, क्योंकि शिवसेना यूबीटी जो है अपना जो कोर जो विचारधारा है उससे भटक गई है, कांग्रेस से विलय करना चाहती है, तो हमको अलग माना जाए इन 6 सांसदों को और शिवसेना शिंदे गुट में मिला दिया जाए। तो इस चिट्ठी के बाद ही औपचारिकताएं जो वो पूरी हो गई एक तरीके से। अब फैसला जो है स्पीकर को लेना है कि वो कब लेते हैं।
अमित, एक क्विक सवाल है आपके लिए कि जब ये 6 शिवसेना यूबीटी के एमपीज ओम बिरला से मिले, तो क्या एकनाथ शिंदे भी इनके साथ थे? क्योंकि उस दिन एकनाथ शिंदे भी दिल्ली में थे, जहां तक मेरा ख्याल है।
नहीं, एकनाथ शिंदे ने मुलाकात नहीं की। एकनाथ शिंदे इस पूरे प्रश्न के दौरान कहीं पर भी यहाँ नहीं, लेकिन हाँ, एकनाथ शिंदे की मुलाकात होगी। जो जानकारी आ रही है कि 19 तारीख के बाद 20 तारीख को उनकी मुलाकात होने वाली है। इसके बाद औपचारिक रूप से और बातें भी होगा, जो विलय की प्रक्रिया है वो भी होगी। लेकिन उससे पहले जो कोशिश थी, एक तरह से आप कह सकते हैं कि उनके बेटे एकनाथ जो श्रीकांत शिंदे है वो यहाँ से सबके साथ कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे थे। वो इस ऑपरेशन को पूरा करने के एक सूत्रधार के तौर पर थे, जिन्होंने सारे सांसदों की बात की और सारे सांसदों की अपनी नाराजगी भी थी। और जिस तरीके से उद्धव ठाकरे और जिस तरीके से, क्योंकि जो इनकी विचारधारा शिवसेना की रही है, बाला साहब ठाकरे की विचारधारा रही है, लेकिन जिस तरीके से पिछले कुछ दिनों में कांग्रेस के नजदीक जा रहे थे, जैसा लग रहा था कि वो कांग्रेस में मर्जी कर जाएंगे। तो ऐसे में इन यही बातों को उन्होंने चिट्ठी में लिखी और वो औपचारिकता लगभग पूरी हो गई है चिट्ठी देने के बाद। अब देखना है कि स्पीकर का फैसला क्या होता है। लेकिन जो शिवसेना यूबीटी है उसमें औपचारिक रूप से आप कह सकते हैं कि 2 फाड़ हो गया है। 2/3 जो 6 सांसद हैं उन्होंने अपने को अलग मान लिया, अलग करने को कहा है। हालांकि उनको नोटिस देने की बात की गई है। 3 सांसदों ने मिलकर, जो संजय राउत के नेतृत्व में यहाँ पे मीटिंग हुई थी, उसमें उनको नोटिस देने की बात की गई है कि विप का उल्लंघन किया जा रहा है, उनकी सदस्यता रद्द की जाएगी और इसकी भारी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी इन सांसदों को। लेकिन ये बात अब साबित हो गया है कि शिवसेना यूबीटी में बगावत हो गया है और 6 सांसदों ने उनका साथ छोड़ दिया है।
It's official now, as they say. Thank you, Amit, for joining us. Meanwhile, more breaking news coming in. Show cause notices will be issued to MPs who have remained absent from the meeting. Shiv Sena UBT leader Arvind Sawant has convened a meeting of the party's parliamentary group. The Thackeray camp has now begun taking steps towards legal action against these MPs who had skipped the meeting. Notices are said to be issued to the following MPs who are reportedly moving from the Thackeray camp to the Shinde faction. Let me go straight across to Sabya, who is joining us on the broadcast. Sabya, it's all very well for the Thackeray camp to say that we will move disqualification proceedings against these 6 MPs. But the fact is, the number 6 is very important here. There are 9 Lok Sabha MPs. What is 2/3? It is 6. These are 6, which means they will probably escape the anti-defection law. Are you hearing Om Birla's side?
Well, see, the speaker currently is not in the national capital. He is outside national capital. And today, while speaking to the media as well, both Mr. Sanjay Raut as well as Mr. Arvind Sawant, the kind of tone and language that they have used clearly shows that the party is not together. The MPs have decided to part ways from the Sena UBT faction and join the Shinde faction. Now, while entering the parliament also, Mr. Sanjay Raut clearly stated that those who will show up for the meeting are with us and those who will not, they are traitors. Meanwhile, there is several rounds of legal consultation going on at Mr. Sanjay Raut's residence as well as the residence of Mr. Arvind Sawant. And what we are learning that the Shiv Sena UBT will be issuing a show cause notice to all the 6 MPs and will be demanding answer from them. Now, depending on the answer, the legal action will be taken against them. Now, here the problem is that both the parties, whether it is the Shinde faction or the UBT faction, both of them doesn't want that the matter should go once again to the court, because already the matter is been going in the Supreme Court. It is sub judice, but the speaker is outside the national capital, and Sanjay Raut and Arvind Sawant both have been saying that if they have the support, then they should come out like the Trinamool Congress MPs.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. Before I get in, Dr. Uddhav Nirgurkar, senior journalist from Maharashtra, let me just tell you what Sanjay Raut is saying. Sanjay Raut has spoken once again, Dr. Nirgurkar. He is turning the heat on the rebel camp. He is saying this will cost you dearly. He is also saying we have absolutely no interest in finding these rebels anymore. Mr. Raut is saying we were all together on Sunday. Now these 6 have gone missing, and he's warning of consequences. Let's quickly listen in to what Mr. Sanjay Raut is saying.
छुपाया संडे को सब लोग एक साथ थे, कुछ वर्चुअली आए थे, आज लापता है। अब लापता कहाँ है, क्या है, उनको पता है। हमको उनको ढूंढने में आप कोई दिलचस्पी नहीं है। हाँ, मैच्योर लोग हैं, 70-70 साल के लोग हैं, 2-2 बार 3-3 बार MP बने हमारे पार्टी से, तो हम क्या उनको बताएंगे। लेकिन इस बार उनको महंगा पड़ेगा, चाहे कुछ भी।
Let me go straight across to Dr. Uddhav, who joins us on the broadcast here on Times. Now, Dr. Uddhav, this says something about Uddhav Thackeray's leadership. 4 years ago, exactly the same thing happened to him. That right under his nose, there was a rebellion brewing, there was a split brewing, and he was clueless about it. And therefore, Mr. Eknath Shinde walked away with his party. Now, the same thing is happening again. This says something about him more than anyone else.
Before replying, I would like to give a quick one-line compliment to your reporters. If any author, web series author is recording this, telecast, then I'm sure he has got the script ready for the web series, how this rebel happened. Anyway, coming back to Uddhav.
We have excellent reporters, I'll give you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have Amit Kumar there, Sabir Sachi tracking the story.
Both them, I was tempted to compliment them on air that, अगर कोई अच्छा यशराज फिल्म वगैरह बना रहा है तो उसके लिए तो बना बनाया स्क्रिप्ट मिल गया है. Secondly, look at the behavior of Uddhav Thackeray. He was with Congress and he was not happy with Congress. The other day, Indie meeting happened. He did not go there, but he attended work from home. बाबा तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम देवेंद्र फडणवीस के साथ था, बीजेपी के साथ था. अब इंडी में तो खुश रहो आप. इंडी में भी आप वर्क फ्रॉम होम की तरह यू आर अटेंडिंग ऑन वेब. व्हाई यू आर नॉट गोइंग पर्सनली like others? Everywhere you have problem. All the people, those who have left, have problem. राज ठाकरे सब बोलते कि पैसा दिया है क्या, इतना खोखा दिया, ऑल दैट. राज ठाकरे को कितने खोखे दिए थे? नारायण राणे ने जब छोड़ा तो कितने खोखे दिए थे? गणेश नाइक ने जब छोड़ा तो कितने खोखे मिले थे उनको? All this cannot be one-sided. What language Uddhav Thackeray was using? When you see the crowd clapping, that is a time a good leader has to restrain, has to control the language. What he said, एक तर मराठी में, there I will translate in English and Hindi. एक तर तू रहें नहीं तो मैं रहें. एक तो तू रहेगा या तो मैं रहूंगा. Either I will survive or you. Is this a kind of language you use? 3 days back, just 3 days back, same Sanjay Raut was talking that our MPs are committed when media was reporting that they are going to be a rebel and they are in touch with Eknath Shinde and they are going to form the group. They were in denial mode. They were in dismissal mode. They were confused lot. What language they were using? But and when they finally, just one line, when they finally parted, all the BC and MC language you are using about them, the channels have to put a beep because they are a decent channel. They cannot, because kids are also watching our channel. And now you are given up because you can't do anything. You realize that you have lost your ground touch.
No, Dr. Uddhav, I give you that this is the incompetence of Mr. Thackeray more than anything else. Okay, I'll give it to you. But the fact is that if there are MPs who are ready to switch over for 15 crore rupees and 50 crore rupees, that is a big problem as well. And that there is a moral and ethical question to that as well. For the person who's for the party that is offering this money and for people who are taking this money.
No, let me take this point up front. If you think that the game of politics is game of morality, we are wrong. ये विनोबा का आश्रम नहीं है. Let's be clear about it. Everybody has backstabbed everybody. Uddhav has backstabbed in 19. Had this not happened, his followers would have remained like a staunch follower, like they remain with Bala Thackeray. He himself paved the way for others how to ditch. तो आपने जो चलने की रास्ता बनाया था, लोगों ने उसका 8 लेन हाईवे बना दिया.
Okay.
तो क्यों आप गाली देते हो? आपने खुद भी ये सब किया है. आपका किया करा है.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Uday. Meanwhile, in Pune, we have banners that have come up that are saying Operation Tiger. Just wait and watch what happens next, and they're congratulating Eknath Shinde. So those posters have also come up, ladies and gentlemen, in Pune. Let's move on now to the other big story that developed this morning. This was a bit of a surprise. A memorandum of understanding has been signed between US President Donald Trump and the Iranian President, with both leaders signing remotely. Now an informal in-person ceremony is expected in Geneva tomorrow. Do remember that originally this was supposed to be signed in Switzerland tomorrow. So it came as a bit of a surprise that this MOU was actually signed a day before, like a day beforehand, and it was done virtually. According to reports, the MOU is now in force and lays the foundation for what is being described as a 14-point peace framework aimed at ending hostilities and resetting US-Iran relations. So that's the big story that came to us this morning. The reported proposals include an end to military action, negotiations on a final agreement within 60 days, the lifting of sanctions and naval restrictions, the resumption of Iranian crude important, and the release of restricted Iranian assets. The framework also reportedly includes commitments on nuclear oversight under the IAEA, guarantees for maritime security in the Strait of Hormuz, and a reconstruction package for Iran. If implemented, the proposals could mark a significant diplomatic breakthrough, with the final agreement reportedly expected to receive binding endorsement from the UN Security Council. So, question is, what does this mean for Donald Trump? At the outset, Trump had demanded total Iranian surrender, including a complete dismantling of Iran's nuclear program, an end to all uranium enrichment, along with restrictions on ballistic missile capabilities. However, under the reported framework that has now been agreed, the outcomes appear significantly different. Iran is set to receive sanctions relief, allowing it to resume oil exports, along with broader economic regeneration steps. Restrictions on maritime movement through the region, including the Strait of Hormuz, are also expected to ease. And instead of an immediate dismantling of Iran's nuclear program, the deal provides a 60-day window to negotiate a long-term nuclear arrangement. So what does this deal deliver and who gets what? Well, Iran is set to gain sweeping sanctions relief, the release of frozen assets, number 2, and a resumption of unrestricted oil exports. The framework also includes over $300 billion in reconstruction assistance, a pullback of US forces from Iran's vicinity, and a role in shaping the future of the Strait of Hormuz. In return, Iran committing not to acquire nuclear weapons. By the way, they've always said this, with related issues still part of the ongoing discussions. For the United States, the deal is being framed as a major de-escalation step, reducing the risk of a wider Middle East conflict, reopening the Strait of Hormuz for global shipping, improving energy security, and potentially easing pressure on global oil prices, while signaling a shift back to diplomacy after months of confrontation. Meanwhile, there's breaking news coming in. Pakistan's Prime Minister has deleted all references to Friday's siring ceremony. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif appearing to have deleted his initial post on X, announcing that the US and Iranian presidents had signed the historic MOU. In the updated version, the Prime Minister has omitted any reference to an upcoming official signing ceremony. He said, that negotiating teams would still gather in Geneva on Friday for the follow-up negotiations. Pratikit, what do you make of what the Pakistan Prime Minister is doing? Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Well, Pakistani Prime Minister received a certain kind of a brief perhaps from Washington. Then the brief was changed. In between, he actually tweeted. Then he was instructed, as it is always done, to replace the tweet with something else. So something else, whatever else will be written, will be instructed again from Washington. Till that time, he has been told to delete the present tweet. As simple as that. That is his work. They are basically couriers rather than mediators.
Okay, but we should not spend too much time on them. Let's get to the meat of the discussion. Pratikit Pine, of whatever I have seen and understood of this MOU, it seems Iran has won. What is your assessment?
Definitely, Shreya. I mean, Iran actually gets far more than what it gives. But if you look at the finer details of the negotiation and the agreement, it is more like a framework for an agreement for a peace deal rather than a peace deal in purpose. Secondly, it looks too perfect on paper. Its implementation is going to be very, very problematic. By the way, in the short run, the price of oil is going to come down, which is very good news for India. Let me put it this way. US wanted to do a Venezuela on Iran. They could not achieve it. And that's the reason all of this is happening. They certainly did not go to open up the Strait of Hormuz because Strait of Hormuz was already open before the war started. Now, if you look at what is happening right now, they have a 60-day window for implementation of it. In between, if something happens, ifs and buts, as Trump has said, they'll start bombing all over again. The problem is this, that there is huge trust deficit among the countries in Middle East. I don't think Israel will be very happy with whatever has happened in terms of the concessions being given to Iran on the nuclear issue, in terms of $300 billion reconstruction package, in terms of waiver of sanctions, in terms of also defreezing of the assets of Iran, which they believe that all of this money, at least a certain section of it, will actually go to all the non-state actors in its vicinity who would be empowered all over again. Same goes for the Middle Eastern Arab states who feel that this is somewhere we have been shortchanged because entry of Iran would invariably reduce the price of oil. We have already seen Brent crude has come down to $75 or $77 a barrel. So in the short run, it is good for countries like India.
Okay.
But we should not stop diversifying because the possibility of something flaring up all over again within the next 3-4 months cannot be simply ruled out. Because I'll tell you one thing, even though we do agree that Iran gets far more concessions, there are so many factions within Iran. I don't know how much and how many of them will agree to give up or abandon their entire nuclear program because they have lost too much. There are so many scientists who have been assassinated as what they say. And there is an institutional knowledge which already Iran has. What will you do with that? They might enrich it again tomorrow.
No, that's true. Because the enriched uranium is not just enriched uranium. It is also a symbol of what their country has achieved, despite sanctions, despite setbacks, despite bombings, etc. So will they be willing to let it go so easily? We'll wait and watch. But things are looking too perfect, you're saying, Pratikrit, and it may not play out the way it is looking. And then there is that wild card called Israel, which looks like it is in full mood to bomb this MOU for various reasons. So we'll see how this plays out. Thank you very much for joining us. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, a quick break. News and updates continue. Do stay with us.